There we go. Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about 8 habits that make your weight loss way easier. And I'm going to put them in order of importance. And Program Yourself Thin, these are 8 of the habits that we really focus on installing into your life. And before I tell you what they are, I want you to understand that you do not need to put them all into your life immediately. That would be overwhelming. So that's why I'm going to start them from kind of most important to, I don't want to say least important, that feels weird, but the most important one, down. And so ideally you want to start with the first one and move down, but starting with any of them is better than starting with none of them too. So the first one is sleep. Sleep is just absolutely crucial for your weight loss in so many ways. Your sleep quality and amount is one of the main factors that's going to impact your appetite, your cravings, your ability to choose the right food, your metabolism. Everything's impacted by your sleeping. So the more you start to dedicate your energy at getting your sleep to be a better quality and a higher quantity, the better. Now, ideally, sleep-wise, you're looking to get, now again, this is a ballpark and this is a place to start and then tweak it to what works for you. But at the very least, you want to aim at 8 hours of good quality sleep a night. And you want to do that for a little while. Again, one night is not going to do it. You want to get that for, see what happens when you get a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of more sleep. And again, this is always relative. So if you usually get 6 hours of sleep, maybe at first you aim at getting 7 hours and then move it up to 8 hours, see how you feel. Okay. And the more you focus on getting a better quality sleep and more sleep, you're going to notice the effects of it in subtle ways, that your hunger is going to be lower, your appetite and cravings for unhealthy foods are going to reduce. Your ability to choose the right stuff is going to increase and your metabolism is going to improve. And there's a lot of other benefits as well as that. The next thing is water. Okay. Your hydration level. Most Americans are at least mildly dehydrated. So the more you start to focus on proper hydration level, again, this becomes one of those exponential focuses, right? You get more bang for your buck when you focus on the proper hydration levels. Because again, hydration is having a real fundamental impact on your weight because it directly impacts your energy levels, your ability to think clearly. It affects your hunger. It affects your metabolism. It affects the cravings you have for food, and on and on and on. So again, hydration becomes a relatively easy way to start nudging yourself to make healthier choices naturally and automatically. The next thing, well, and actually, so what's the right amount of water? Rule of thumb is half your body weight in ounces as kind of an initial goal. And again, depending on where you're starting from, you can work your way up to that. And once you get up to that, kind of notice how it feels and then adjust to what feels like the perfect amount for you. And strategically, one of the key things about water is to use a big bottle. That's one of the best things you can do, because trying to track 8 glasses of water a day is cognitively very overwhelming. So if you have like 1 or 2 big bottles you want to drink a day, it's a lot easier to keep track of them. The next thing, and I kind of put the next 2 together, is relaxation and breathing. Now, this is another thing that if you put even just a little bit of energy into relaxing yourself regularly, and while you relax, connecting to your breath and breathing more deeply, if you start to do this regularly, once again, it's going to really support foundationally your ability to make much healthier choices naturally and automatically, so that you start to get the weight loss results you're looking for. And relaxation can be as simple as literally just taking a moment, relaxing your shoulders, face, stomach, chest, and connecting to your breath. And something that's simple that can take 5 or 10 seconds can have such a profound, immediate shift on your state. It can instantly make you feel so much more better, so much more grounded and calm. And when you feel more relaxed, grounded, and calm, you tend to make much healthier choices naturally and automatically. So once again, this becomes something that fundamentally really changes everything else above it, right? Again, these first 3, 4 all do. Again, sleep, hydration, relaxation, and breathing. And for a relatively little amount of effort and energy, as you start transforming these, you really, again, get outweighed benefits from it. Now we move into nourishment. And I say nourishment specifically because a lot of times when people want to lose weight, what they're focusing on is not eating the wrong foods. Okay. So they're very oriented to not eating the ice cream, cookies, chips, whatever like that. But I want you to kind of think about your eating in 2 ways, and I want you to silo them. So yes, on one hand, you want to kind of prevent yourself from making unhealthy choices. But on the other hand, and separate from that, is you want to start making healthier choices. And that's where the nourishment comes in. And what this means is that even if you had a day where you kind of got off track and were eating cookies and pizza and other stuff, you still in your mind are tracking eating healthy food. because a lot of dieters, those two things are tied together. And as long as they're not eating unhealthy foods, they'll eat healthy foods. But the second they screw up with their eating, now they're not thinking about eating healthy foods. Okay. You don't want that. You want to silo your eating and kind of separately reduce the unhealthy choices and separately increase the healthy choices. And as you start nourishing your body with higher quality nutrients and fuel, once again, this foundationally starts to change everything, because when you put higher quality nourishment into your body, your appetite goes down and your hunger goes down because you're satisfying your micronutrient needs. And so you're more fully doing that. And so your body's going to reduce the hunger signals it's sending you. You're also going to give your body what it needs, so it starts operating at a much higher level. And that's metabolically, cognitively, you're thinking clearly, cellularly, you're working more effectively. Everything in your body starts to improve when you nourish it with the right high quality foods. And so again, by focusing down here, you change all of this stuff up here, as it goes. The next thing is movement. And I want to make a clear distinction that movement and exercise aren't necessarily the same thing. So, a lot of people hate exercising and avoid it. So, if that's the case you're in, or if you don't like exercising or haven't done it in a while, again, widen your perspective and realize that just moving more feels a lot better and has a lot of benefits to it. So you don't have to do some intense exercise to get results. Even starting, a small walk routine, or simple stretching, or, taking up a hobby or doing chores around the house. The more you move, the better your body feels. And again, the key thing I see people doing is they kind of overwhelm themselves with the movement. They take on an exercise program that's just too intense, and they expect they're going to stick with it. So the idea is to start to, kind of ease off on what you expect yourself to do and allow yourself to realize there's a lot of opportunities for movement and moving your body comfortably. And as you start to identify those and support yourself doing those, it could be something as simple as parking further away from the door to walk a little more. You know what I mean? Again, simple, easy ways, taking the steps instead of the elevator, simple little things you can do to start moving your body more. And again, those little things start to accumulate, and they have an effect on everything else. Next thing is meditation. If you can start to introduce meditation into your life, even just a couple minutes a day, what happens is it gives you time to practice turning your attention inwards and kind of quieting yourself and grounding yourself into a state of calm peacefulness. And again, in this state of calm peacefulness, you're able to see things more clearly. You start to understand your cravings. You start to understand your limiting beliefs, your negative internal dialogues. All this different stuff starts to become obvious to you. Then you can work on resolving and fixing it. So meditation, not only does it feel nice and it kind of grounds you in this calm, present, peaceful space, it really helps you practically to see the journey you're on much more clearly, to articulate the challenges and to come up with solutions that really help you resolve them for good. So meditation, in my opinion, is really just one of the most underrated and most useful kind of lifestyle habits that really supports your weight loss. The more you can kind of be calm and grounded, once again, it just naturally start to make better food choices. And obviously that's valuable. And then the final habit is gratitude, just to start practicing expressing gratitude, to feel gratitude for what you have in life. And this, I feel, is one of the kind of sneakiest ones, right? That people don't really think about. But the more grateful you feel for your life and the things you have in it, it really becomes a fundamental shift in how you move through the day. And it's a complete shift. It's cognitive, it's emotional, it's biological, it's chemical. You literally inhabit a different reality when you start to express gratitude for what you have in your life. And it seeps down into every cell of your being, that you start to operate differently. And again, it just really supports you, gives you a solid, firm foundation to really build your weight loss on. Because when you do all these things, you have more energy, your hunger goes down, your unhealthy cravings go down, your cravings for healthy food go up, your clarity of thought go up, your connection to what your goals are and why they're important go up. Again, it's just, there's so many ways that it starts to really lift you up. And most people have never tried to lose weight having this really solid, firm foundation. And it changes everything. I mean, it changes the entire process so dramatically. So again, I strongly urge you to start slowly and strategically implementing these habits into your life and noticing how helpful and beneficial they are to you. So I hope this helps you out. And if you want some support doing that, go click the link in my bio, go get the free hypnosis session I give you. Watch the training video I made for you. It's all free. And get on my email list, because again, I send lots of stuff out all the time to help you take control of your weight. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I hope you're all having a nice Friday. and are ready for the weekend. I know I am. It has been a crazy week for me. And I was thinking that yesterday. My God, my week has been 100 miles an hour from Monday morning until yesterday after 7 o'clock at night. And so it's nice I'm looking forward to the weekend. I can tell you that. What's up, Vicky? What's up, Deanna? How's it going? Meditation and relaxation are so helpful, and I miss it when I don't take the time to do it now. Yeah, absolutely. They're just so helpful. That's why I do it in the program. Again, it's like the hypnosis sessions are that's what they're kind of doing. They're helping you basically relax, meditate, breathe, gratitude. They're helping you with all those things directly. Every hypnosis session you listen to. And I think a lot of people miss that. I think a lot of people think of hypnosis and they just think about kind of like the psychological impact, you know what I mean? Like what effect it has on your mindset and your behavior. But I think a lot of people miss that one of the biggest benefits of hypnosis is that when you do it, you go into a state of calm relaxation. Every time you go into hypnosis, it's like a meditative state. It literally, right? They've looked at hypnosis, people that are being hypnotized and people that are meditating, and the brain state is the same. Okay. So it is just like meditation. And the experience of that state by itself is helpful. It feels really nice. And so every time you listen to a hypnosis session, it's important that you realize, again, my sessions are 5 to 10 minutes typically, but even a 5-minute session, you're going into a real deep state of calm. You're relaxing your body, you're breathing more deeply. That centers and grounds you, right? It quiets your mind down, calms it down. It calms your emotions down. It connects you to a more calm, relaxed, peaceful state. And you start to think differently when you're in that place. You start to feel differently with that place as well. And so, I think a lot of people overlook that hypnosis is not only beneficial because all the great suggestions you're giving and what all the things you're hearing is, that's obviously helpful, but it's also, you're getting a lot of the benefits that you get out of meditation as well. And I think when you realize that, you realize just how valuable those hypnosis sessions really are. They're super valuable. And again, they start to stack up. When you start stacking up those moments of peaceful, calm relaxation, it starts to give you a whole different foundation to build on. And I don't think people think about in terms of foundation with weight loss. I think people think top down. They think about just willpowering themselves to make all the right choices no matter what. But of course, again, just think about the habits I said. If you try and lose weight, but you're sleeping like crap, right? You're sleeping 6-7 hours of crappy sleep a night. You're dehydrated. You're stressed out. You're not breathing. You're not nourishing yourself. You're not moving much. You're not meditating and quieting your mind down. It's just spinning out of control. You in that situation is a much different version of you than, someone who is sleeping, hydrating, doing all those things. And so you can't just look at weight loss as like, okay, let me just make the right decision. You've got to look at all these other factors because they're going to impact every second of your day. And, when your lifestyle is kind of out of whack, you have to over rely on willpower to make the right choices. And so it's a lot of extra work and, it's tiring. So I don't know. To me, it's like, it reminds me of the Abe Lincoln quote where he goes, if I had 4 hours to chop a tree, I'd spend 3 hours sharpening the blade. And to me, the lifestyle habits are really like sharpening the blade. It's taking that time to invest in your habits, because when you take those time to invest those lifestyle habits, they're there to support you, and you get much more bang for your buck. You get a much higher return on investment, from that lifestyle focus, and all those other ways. All right. Leni says, how can I protect my energy from enemies in the family at dinner? That's such a great question. I was thinking about that today because I'd had that conversation. So, it's a big thing, and I think a lot of people don't really look at it that way, and first of all, there's a lot of reasons why someone may kind of be or feel like an enemy, and I think this is so common. That's the first thing I think to kind of deal with it, right? So how to protect yourself. I think the first thing is to recognize that energy is probably less about them wanting to sabotage you or wanting you not to get good results. And it's probably more a response because of how they feel about you eating better. So that's how I like to look at it. That when you're in relationships, and right, we all got relationships we're in, when all of a sudden you start making healthier choices, in a weird way, it's kind of like you're holding a mirror up to them. You know what I mean? Even if you're not saying anything, like the second you start making healthier choices, people around you start to notice. And a lot of times what they're going to do is they're going to think, oh my God, what am I doing? And they start reflecting on what they're doing, and it may feel uncomfortable for them. And then that may kind of cause them to kind of say things or do things that kind of feel like they're sabotaging you. Okay. So this is real. It's a real thing. So how do you deal with it? I think the first thing is to shift the way you think of that intention. It's not necessarily they want to hurt you or sabotage you. A lot of times it's like it's just a subconscious response to them feeling uncomfortable, that they're not making changes that are healthier, or they're doing things that aren't really helpful for them. So that's the first thing. The next thing is that I like to practice those situations. So I like to become familiar with the scenarios that are most challenging to me. So like you said, being at my family at dinner, right? That's kind of a peak state of challenge. And so what I would want to do is I'd want to think of that situation. I would want to ask myself, how can I respond to this situation differently? How can I respond to this in a more relaxed, calm way? How can I let it roll off my back more? How can I stay grounded and calm even when people say things to me? How can I continue to behave the way I want to, even in that situation? I'd start asking very solution-oriented questions about how I wanted to respond. What would be the best Leanie in that situation? How would she, I believe she, or how would you respond in that situation in an ideal way? And I'd start thinking about that. And then I'd start imagining myself responding that way, and I would work on it. Because again, it's no different. Our path is always the same in the sense that we all have challenges. No matter what, you're going to have some challenges. And so some people, their biggest challenge might be dinner with their family, right? Because it's hard to get through dinner eating healthy because they're kind of, encourage you to do the wrong thing. I went through that. I didn't get a whole lot of support in the beginning. And again, nothing nefarious. I mean, these people loved me, but it's just, they didn't know how to deal with me eating healthy now. It was because it breaks rapport. When all of a sudden you start eating healthier than your family, it does break rapport a little bit. So, I think it's something to recognize, and, but you can deal with it. If you look at it as a challenge, you say, how could I deal with this most effectively? You start moving in the direction that I think is better than probably what you're doing. So that'd be my suggestion. Tina said, how much have you lost yourself? At this point, I've lost I lost all the way over 30 years ago. So it's been a long time. But I lost over 50 pounds. So again, I know 50 pounds is great, but the bigger thing I want you to focus on is that I've kept it off for 30 years, over 30 years. No dieting, no working out. And that's the key thing. And now I had one blip 13 years ago. But other than that, I've been in pretty much the same weight. And so that's my message to all you is I'm real more focused on living at your goal weight than just losing weight. But yeah, that's much I've lost since then. But again, yeah, losing weight and living at your goal weight are two separate things. Just remember that too, though. Always remember that. What's up, Vicky? How's it going? Happy Friday, Jim. Listen at the dentist. All right. Nice. Just Jade says, Jim, this is kind of off topic, but you're a smart guy. Any advice for struggling with indecision? Oh yeah, indecision. Well, yeah, I do have advice for you. And this is one of those situations like, do what I say, don't do what I do. I don't really know a lot about like horoscopes and star signs and all that stuff, but I know I'm a Libra, and Libra's thing is like the scales, right? Always weighing things and balancing. So I am that part. I definitely think I have definitely struggled with indecision because I really am able to see kind of both sides, and I struggle to just pick one of them, So yes, I have dealt with that. And I have some strategies I use that have kind of helped me out a lot. I will tell you the first one I use most of the time. So a lot of times when I really got caught in indecision, I was trying to consciously make the choice, which one's better? And I would really struggle with that. So what I tend to do now, like when I have a decision to make in front of me, is instead of just kind of thinking it out pros and cons, like logically, and I will do that a bit too, obviously. But what I'll really do is I'll close my eyes and I'll imagine myself in one scenario. I'll kind of close my eyes and I'll imagine myself making the other decision. Okay. So I'll just take the time and I'll imagine myself making one decision, come back to normal, imagine myself making the other decision. And I'll kind of put myself into each one of those situations. So if I made this decision, what would it feel like? What would I do? And I try and kind of imagine as clearly and vividly as I could. Then I kind of come back. What would it be like if I made the other decision? What would it feel like? Blah, blah, blah. And I'll spend a couple minutes in each. And what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to see if there's any gut responses to it, because a lot of times, most of the time, I would say when I do that, it becomes very obvious to me, at least gut wise. I get like kind of a gut, like that's better. Like a lot of times my gut kind of decides which one's the better one for me. So what I'm basically saying is that's a way to kind of kick it off to my subconscious mind. So when I get things like logically, I can really get into caught in indecision. When I start to listen to my subconscious mind and my gut, most of the time I'm able to make the decision much more clearly. So hopefully I can help you. That's my best strategy. But yes, that's definitely something I've worked with. The other thing though, I will tell you is this, and in addition to that technique is also the mindset piece of realizing that most of the time, when we have a decision to make, the difference between them is really not going to be that big a deal either way. I think that's another thing to remember. Most of the time, I mean, sometimes obviously there's huge decisions, but most of the things I find that I've been indecisive about in my life, it really wouldn't matter that much which one I went with, and I would be better off just making a decision and being done with it and then dealing with whatever repercussions may come, than struggling with it for a long extended period of time and then making a decision. So that's also helped me a lot, that at the end of the day, you can't make perfect decisions either. So I guess that kind of figures in a little bit, is that I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And so that kind of plays in sometimes. So I've loosened it up by realizing that, when you make a decision, if it's not like a really obvious decision, then whichever one you choose, it's a bit of a crapshoot, is what I'm saying. So I will rely on my subconscious mind, see which one's which, and then I will remind myself that whichever decision I make, I can't make just perfect decisions. So let's just make the decision. We'll just deal with whatever. So I kind of balance all that together. Hopefully that helps you out. But yes, I think about that a lot, because that definitely is a thing for me, is decision making. I do struggle with that, but that's helped me a lot. Again, even the idea that like, if I make the wrong decision, who gives a shit? I don't want to stay stuck in a decision for a long time though. That's where I find the most damage is done. So again, making the decision quicker for me, I'm working on that, and then just moving forward. And that's what they say is the best way to make decisions anyways, so there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. Hope you're all having a nice, it's funny. I think today feels almost like the last Friday of like the summer, right? And I know kind of next week sort of is because of Labor Day and all the rest of it, but it's got that vibe and that energy to it. And I'm here for, I love, I don't know this. Oh man, this time of year to me, it's so nice. Like the weather is just so ideal, and you really appreciate it too, because it's been so hot lately. So I'm really looking forward to, and I've been enjoying, actually. It's been a few days of just cooler weather and some rain, and it's nice. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I got the workbooks. I know I've been talking about those. Workbooks are ready to go. And I told you, if you're in the program already, I've got the PDF. I'm waiting to get the Google Doc version of it. I'm going to upload them both. And I'll send you all a message. And then if you do want to get an actual physical copy, those, I put the order and there's a little bit of shenanigans going on, but I think that's all fixed. So I should have those next weekend. And then if you want those, I'll send a message out if you want those. They'll probably be like $40, I think, is probably where they're going to be, get them shipped to you. But yes, you don't need to get those, right? You get the digital version for free. That'll just be updated automatically. They're just formatted. They look awesome. I think they look amazing. I can't wait to show you all. I cannot wait to get them. And then, going to have some special offers next week coming out, especially for coaching. So if you're interested in coaching directly with me, there's going to be some special kind of offers going up next week. And it'll be an opportunity for you to kind of close the year out really, really strong. So again, keep an eye on that. I will be letting you know. Deanna says, will the digital workbook be in the Circle app? Yes, absolutely. Again, I wanted to put it up today, but I just want to send one message. So I didn't want to be like, put up the PDF and then send you a message and then get the Google Doc and put that up and send them another message. So I'm just kind of waiting to get both of them. And I'm expecting the Google document today. We'll see. And if I get that, I will upload it immediately, and then I'll send you a message. But yeah, that'll be in the Circle app. It'll be in the membership area. What's going to happen is where the current blueprint is, it'll just going to be replaced. It'll be the new one. And like I said, it's all redesigned. I think it looks awesome. And I can't wait to show you the physical version. It's just, I'm proud of it. It looks really cool. And the design version is just, I think it's a lot nicer because it looks better. And I think it's easier to go through. I think the way it's kind of laid out, it's a lot more, it doesn't feel like overwhelming. The other one's a lot of text, and this one, it looks cool. So I can't wait to get it. But yes, that will be in the Circle app. And then, like I said, as soon as I might even do this next week. I think next week I'll probably put a link up if you do want to get the physical workbook sent to you. I'll put up the payment link and you can do that. And like I said, I will be sending those out the week after Labor Day, because I'm going to get them next. I feel like next Saturday or Monday or whatever. Not next Saturday, Monday, but the week after Labor Day, I'm going to get all the physical versions of it, and I'll show you them to you. Oh man, I can't wait. I told you, I used to create workbooks for my Thrive program, and those were cool, but this is like a whole nother level above. And I can't wait to show it to you. I mean, this thing is so awesome. And anyways, I know I get so excited about it, but I am really excited. I've been working on this workbook and these blueprints for really like 6 months now. So it's really funny actually, because even I finally got all of it done, like even getting the printing set up. There's a screwballs with that, but that's all set up. And now it is funny because I've been working on it for so long. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? And don't worry, I got plus stuff to work on. But the Circle app, like I said, that's gonna be one of the main things I'm working on. And I got some kind of new programmatic things coming up too. And I'm really excited to share those with you. And there will be some coaching offers next week. So if you've been thinking about really kind of diving in, again, this is a bigger investment. It's a bigger commitment. But if you would like to work directly with me for, the rest of the year, there will be some information on that coming out next week. And if you're on my email list, I will let you know that. Yeah, Christina. Yeah, the page is numbered in the workbook. Yes. The numbers are in there. It's so much better. So yeah, you'll see it. And it's a workbook, right? It's 144 pages. So again, it's no joke. I tell you that all the time. My people don't mind that. My people like stuff like that. They want more pages. No, they don't, but it's a lot, but it's easy to go through. I love this book. I'm going to go through with you. I'm going to show you, like, even when I get on here, I'll show you different stuff in it. I'll let you kind of see it. And I think, it's awesome. I've been teaching through it, the last few weeks, and Tuesdays we've been kind of going through it. So I just think, I'm excited about it, but yeah, you're going to like it a lot and it looks great. So yeah. Patty says, I'm trying to believe that I can actually lose weight this time. Well, here's the thing. You're never going to believe you can lose weight this time if you don't change what you're doing. So, I think this is the thing about dieting, where a lot of people think like there's the success that they're going to have with dieting is that, the success they're going to have with dieting really comes down to their ability to just really commit this time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to really believe it this time. I'm going to really do it this time. And it's like, that's never going to work, because if you're using the same strategy, the reason you don't believe it's going to work, Patty, is because you're going to try and use the same strategy. So you're going to say, oh, this time because I'm trying to believe that I can actually lose weight this time. Really what that means is you're saying, I'm trying to believe that I can actually lose weight this time doing the same things I've always failed to lose weight with. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, that's technically what you're trying to say to yourself. And that's why you don't believe it. Because what you're saying is, I'm going to do the same diet again this time, but this time I'm actually going to believe I can do it. And that's never going to work, because the diets don't work. So the path to believing you can lose weight is not in somehow just forcing yourself to believe it. It's in finding a better way to master your weight. That's how you start believing it. And that's why I try and say, like, if you've tried diets, if you've tried dieting 100 times to lose weight and it hasn't worked, you're not going to believe that's going to work 100 on the 101st time. You're never going to believe that. The secret to believing you're going to be able to lose weight is to find a way to lose weight that really resonates with you, a way to lose weight that's comfortable and relatively easy. That's how you start believing it's going to work. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. I appreciate, you're enjoying the videos. Great. Yeah. Again, we got tons of videos out there. So make sure you're on my world, because again, if you're not in my email list, the big thing that's going to be coming down the pike here, probably next week too, because I got finally a lot's cleared off my plate here with this workbook being finished, is the Circle app. And I'm going to have a free area of the Circle app. So you'll be able to get in there even if you're not part of the program. I'm going to have a bunch of stuff in there for you. So make sure you're in there, because I'll show you, Patty, a better way, to lose weight than what you're doing. And it'll be a way when you see it, you'll start to believe you can actually do it, because there's a real plan there. Again, and just to clarify one more way, every diet's basically telling you what to do, but they never show you how to get yourself to do it. And that's the reason why you don't believe you're ever going to succeed. Because in the reality, you don't know how to get yourself to consistently, choose the right foods, follow a plan, stick with it. You've never learned how to really do that. And that's the missing piece. And once you get that, that's when you'll start to believe a lot more that you can actually do this. So hope that makes sense. Yeah. Funny girl. Yeah. 144,000. Are we the chosen ones in your program? 144, no, not 144,000, by the way. I don't know if that was a mistake, but 144 pages. But yeah, I'm excited for you all to see it. I think you're gonna love it, and it's really cool. So, like I said, hopefully, I do hope to get the Google Doc version today. That's what I'm supposed to get it, but I never believe I'm going to get things when I'm supposed to. until I actually have them. So we'll see. But if I do get them today, I'll put them up today because it'll take me 2 seconds. And I can't wait for you to see it. I'm excited. I get the covers designers. It's all it's hooked up nice. I can't wait for y'all to see it. But all right. All right, everyone, we get out of here. Everyone have a super duper weekend. If you like this here, I'm here every Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern. This week's been a little wonky. But next week I'll be back to normal, usually between 12 and 12 Eastern, 12 and 12:30 Eastern. I get on here. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, help you out any way I can. And if you missed the live, it's also a podcast, right? So you can go to any podcast platform, search Program Yourself Thin, and you can listen to it. And if you're not part of my email list or if you're not in my world here, you can click the link in my bio, or you can click the little picture of me up in the top left-hand corner, or go to programyourselfthin.com. Go get the free hypnosis session. Then you can kind of get in my world. Give you a free hypnosis session, a free training, and a few other things. So go check those things out. And have a super duper weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye.